I think we live.
We live, baby. We live. Once again, of course, hey, we're here, right? We're late, but we're here. I had to go pick up my daughter. That was a whole nother issue, but we're here. Um, whatever. And matter of fact, I can't share it on my page because she has my phone.
Hopefully, it's just on your page.
Oh, well,
All right. So, what are we talking about today?
I don't know.
You
Shoot.
said male ego.
Yeah, but that goes in title, and that can go with the last part of it. So,
What's the last part of it?
what did you put? The relationship thing.
Can a woman lead in a
Yeah, so
relationship?
that'll have something
Well,
to
that's the
do.
one you was talking about last week.
All right, well, we'll do those two last. So what was the other one? You type something else I didn't see.
The other one
Come
was
on.
married with a single mindset.
Oh, we're gonna make this quick. I'm just playing. Um. All right. Well, what are we talking about?
Good.
I don't know what to do.
I don't know. You posted that video with Bishop T.D. Jakes talking about single mindset.
Well,
You,
it was something that you had said before, and I thought it was kind of interesting.
about what was interesting about it?
Actually, the anyway, you started.
I'm just asking you what was
It
interesting
was
about it.
interesting because what is the single what aspect of a single mindset and being married don't like how it goes together like don't go together like what exactly what things are of a single mindset and are they actually a single mindset or how people are or you get what I'm saying like how if that's just how people think that it's okay for instance some people may think it's okay to go, I don't know, go somewhere while they're single or being married. So is that just a single mindset or is that just what their belief is?
It was what you talking about going. Like some
I
people
don't know.
really
Like
go to
strip clubs.
Okay, well that's that is like you talking about grocery store. That's one thing. You talking about something like strip clubs. That's something totally different.
Okay, but okay, so if again, if some because like some people may think it's okay to go to a strip club whether they're single in a relationship. They're in a relationship with, that's the only time that really matters in the relationship.
Okay, but
So
I
I
think a
would
single mindset means considering your spouse. It means that you and your spouse move as one. You're supposed to be in sync with each other.
well,
So a single
I,
mindset in that instance would mean if you married someone who does not agree with you going to strip club, you
oh,
shouldn't be going.
okay, well,
Like you don't just say, "Well, I'm just gonna go because that's what I've been doing." No, you married that
all
person. You
right.
probably
So
knew
then
how that person felt
well,
about it, and you still married
then
them.
I can agree with that. So then I ask a question like this: is it a single mindset if for the boys to have a boys' night out or go watch the game at the boys' house? Is that a single mindset? Having a single mindset like I'm going to I don't know I have friends, but I'm trading them niggas watching football, and I'm like, hey, I'm going over and watch the game. Is that having a single mind? Is that classified as having a single mindset?
Again, I think
If
it depends on what you and your spouse are agreeing to. The single mindset more so refers to operating independently without your spouse input. So if you're married and you become one, or even in just a relationship, you guys are supposed to be on the same page as far as everything that's happening within your relationship, your behavior. I mean, because everything you do is reflection of your partner, and everything your partner do is reflection of you.
well, and I agree to that, but that's what I'm saying. Well, I guess okay.
So then, if your partner already has issues, or you again something like that, if you know if you have friends that actually Stephen Speaks just talked about this too, because he was talking about like a lot of that comes from the fact that if you have friends and you've done something before in the presence of your friends that was disrespectful or you or your partner didn't like, then yeah, it may be that you hanging out with your friends is not something that you should be doing in your marriage.
Hmm.
Or if you're with a bunch of friends and you'll every time you go out with them, it's gonna be them having a whole bunch of women over at a place and blah blah. Even if you're not partaking in
Yeah.
it or
So
not,
that now that
then
that's
that's
that
don't do that.
well, see the second part of that. I mean, I agree with now, but the earlier part of me wouldn't. But that's the part that the only I guess I have a one track mind when it comes to single mindset or that topic because that's what I'm talking about. If you got a whole bunch of single people, I mean, a whole bunch of guys, and they go out and they're around a whole bunch of women, right? Um, yeah, me now. You remove yourself from that. You don't do that. That's me now, and I understand that now. But earlier on, I'll be like, well, they can do whatever they want to do, as long as I'm not doing it. So is that still having quote unquote a single mind? Well, I guess because it's like you said, a reflection of your partner or whatever. So never mind. That just answer my own question.
Oh, because I mean, basically, the focus is you are supposed to be, again, moving as a unit. So it means
Well,
like you don't just make unilateral decisions like everything. Now, what some people perfectly okay because a man, I mean, whether it be a man or female, they've shown themselves throughout the relationship to be the type of person that can go somewhere with the girls or can go somewhere with the guys and be trusted and all that type of thing. So it's not like to say that people can't do that, but again, is what you and your partner have decided together. That's what they're talking about. I mean, you don't make them decisions. Say I'm just gonna do something.
so you know what though? So this is maybe teetering off subject a little bit, but in the ballpark. I and this is where you and I have a difference of thought process when it comes to this, or a difference in feelings on it. Like, so let's say you were out with whoever, da 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 da, and they were doing all that crazy stuff, right? I don't know if I, I trust you enough to know that you or to believe that you wouldn't, be out doing that with them. So I don't know if that would bother me. Like if I let's say, seen a picture of you and somebody, and not you, but the people that you were with, and I know they were in relationships or whatever, and they was taking pictures with guys and stuff like that. Um, I would think, oh, I believe in you that you know better than the dude. Not when I say know better, not like I'm saying I'll whoop your butt or nothing like that, but that you wouldn't, yeah, I'm not, that you wouldn't indulge in that. That's what they do. So if they got prime example, when you went out with old girl and she put all them drinks up there talking about when they're buying this, that, and the third or something, but she was trying to make, her boyfriend mad,
Mm-hmm.
right? I I didn't, and I wouldn't have got offended by that because, like, I know you, so I know even if that was the case, you're not going to indulge anything like that. So it wouldn't be an issue. Now I think if that shoe was on the other foot, you probably would have more of a problem with me doing it. I ain't saying buying somebody a drink, but accepting drinks from somebody.
Well, probably, but I think again. So I think there's two
Go back in
components to
for a
that.
second.
Like some of it, you miss the point that you're missing. Also, though, is that it has nothing to do with whether or not you trust a person to do behave either. There's also you just respect the relationship because of perspective, because of perception. So you
That's
just don't put
another
yourself in
aspect.
certain situations because you don't want anyone else on the outside looking at your relationship thinking that you're doing something that you haven't been doing. And then it's all respect about what situations you may put your partner in. So I could be somewhere. Somebody just had that question. Would you? A guy was saying that he didn't want his girl going on this girl trip because she got a home girl that always bringing random dudes to the hotel. I think we talked about that before. Like she always going out get. And yes, I can understand that position. He's not saying his woman's going to necessarily do it, but the girl's endangering everybody like that, and she
And
potentially putting him in a situation where what if he got to come find his woman because some dude and did something, or some dude and approached her crazy because her friend then invited some strangers to the hotel.
now you. I'm gonna say not to cut you off, but you the advocate on that. You speak
I'm
on
just
that like you
saying
act like
because
that's
I keep
all.
seeing.
But
I know
I'm
I keep
saying,
seeing
but
it
you act
though.
like that happens. It probably does
No,
happen
somebody
a
just
lot.
asked a question like
but,
that. Some girl just said, she said, she said, is it wrong for me not to invite my friend on our girls trip because every time she comes, she's always with random dudes. Like it's actually happening. This is stuff that's happening.
Yeah, I get that. So now that's another good question. I don't know.
And everybody was like, don't invite her because she endangering all of y'all. Like if she just having random dudes, knowing where y'all stay at and stuff. Like
Oh, yeah,
what the
coming
hell?
to the house. Yeah,
Yeah.
on the spot. Yeah. Okay, I can understand.
Or his friends. Think about the situation, even with who was the basketball player or whatever, the little guy in basketball. Think about that situation. Like because you could be standing with your friend, and because she done said something to some dude, or she was some dude and gave him an indication that she gonna mess with him. Maybe his friend think he get to mess with you, and you say no, so then they shoot you just because you there.
I just when you say that,
So when you with somebody that's wild like that, it happens more than you think, though, especially with women. You're a man, so you're not going to counter it as much. But with women, like women, that's why do you think they always keep saying the sister code is we do this and we don't do this and we don't? Because women have habitually put their friends in dangerous situations like that. Even by just being with say the friend just picking up strangers. Like you don't know if that dude is a serial killer.
I don't know how often that happens. I'm pretty sure it happens enough. One time is too many.
Yeah.
When it comes to about injuring a woman or
okay, but even that, even if we're at the club, just like that girl. I'm sorry, like you cut me off, but look at it, we at the club, and like you said, the girl thought they bought, like the guy had nobody had really bought us anything. But what if there had been a guy buying all these drinks and she accepting all these drinks for the both of us? So then this dude get mad, and I'm just caught in the middle of it. I ain't drank nothing that he didn't bought.
Well, we can play the what if game all day long.
So I'm just saying. So in those situations, it's different. So it goes more. What I'm trying to say is it's deeper than trust. Like you can trust your partner all day. Don't mean that others can't put her in a crazy situation, or she can't be in a crazy situation, or if she, like you said, well, you can go out there and dance with dudes. I don't care. And you've seen what happened. So it ain't got nothing to do with it. They don't.
So then let me ask you this. My relationship, like, cause I really didn't give a damn what somebody else think on the outside about. Now I would care about the family. Other than that, I don't really care about what the outside world think about what's going on in my relationship.
But it's not. But they don't necessarily care. It reflects on your partner, though. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. Like just like Michelle Obama couldn't do certain things because it would reflect on them. I get that, but that's in everyday life. As an attorney, there's some things you shouldn't be doing because it may reflect on me negatively.
Okay, well, that's more of a professional setting. I'm talking about regular, average Joe people.
Okay, so if you're out there, okay, just like you said, if a guy sees you, you out there messing up or whatever in your relationship, doing all kind of wild stuff. Say you, so he thinks like. His relationship.
Yeah, well, I mean, but I
tell you how it all works together.
Well, I see what you're
like
saying.
Like everything, it comes like it has nothing to do with it. And I trust you. I could trust you all day to be out there doing it and knowing that it's not going to go any further. But when you talk about operating with a single mindset or operating with a married mindset, you think about all those things. You think about whether or not it's going to reflect negatively on my marriage, whether or not the perception is going to reflect negatively on my marriage, whether or not it's going to potentially put my partner in a compromising situation. That's all the things you think about.
And now I'll go back to your example again. If I was sitting somewhere buying women drinks or whatever, and a dude look at that, or dudes look at that and be like, "Oh, he out here doing this. Let me go hit on this woman." I don't know if men gonna think like that. I think if he gonna hit on you, he gonna want to hit on you anyway. It ain't got nothing to do with me buying nothing, or he can see me cheating with somebody.
Everybody knows that men will. Okay, yeah, they do that too. But everybody know that men do approach women who they think the dudes are messing up. There's memes about it all over the place.
Well, I would say
if your brothers that be telling on you, men will approach women all the damn time if they think somebody.
It definitely be that. However, I don't know if I think they'll throw shade.
Okay, but why do you want that disruption?
Do that regardless, though.
Not necessarily. If they get okay, but say they throw shade because you actually did something, right? And now they saying, well, no, because he's out here doing blah, 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 blah. And maybe I ain't know you was out there doing it. But maybe you didn't go no further than that. But now they still planting seeds of doubt. What you're supposed to be doing in a marriage is protecting it. That's what God talks about. When he says protect your marriage, that's what he's talking about in all realms, because you don't want anybody to be able to come and say anything about your marriage, whether or not they're lying or not. But if they can find something to lie about and twist that you didn't put out there, then that's another. No, it may not. People say, "Oh, that shouldn't hurt your marriage, and you shouldn't let us." But the fact of the matter is, and the truth of the matter, and why the Bible talks about it, is because it happens. Because the devil looks for little openings like that to plant different seeds in people's minds. So maybe that seed don't do anything, but then maybe it happens. Something else happens. Now you got a bigger seed, and all it's going to do is continue. Now it's going to start growing. Because he did do that.
I see.
Now someone's saying he did this,
and
so
they did that, and that. But that's got
maybe he is out there doing this.
I kind of I see what you're saying on that, but I just don't.
Or like again, people ain't compromising relationships.
I've never been the type of guy. I've never been the type of guy because I've seen another guy doing this, gonna go try to hit on a girl. Like even if I know it's his side chick or he ain't that serious, like I'm not. If I'm gonna hit on it, I'm not gonna go be like, hey, well, you deserve better than that. And that dude doing that. I ain't doing all that. So I mean, that's the only reason I think like. Or my question was because I wouldn't do it. So I know everybody thinks differently, but I personally wouldn't do that. But
but it's just about protecting your relationship and your marriage, period. So that whole single mindset thing, that plays a role. I think too many people worry about this whole trust thing. That's why they freaked out when that girl said that about her friends couldn't stay at her house and all that. You should be trusting your man. It ain't got nothing to do with that. Has nothing at all to do with trust. It has everything to do with perception, everything to do with keeping him out of a potentially compromising situation, protecting him in that regard, all of that. Because people lie all day. Well, and you can believe your spouse all day, but now because you didn't let your friend stay at the house and she didn't lied and say he didn't rape, now y'all got to go to court and everything else.
Or not even that. Or you lost a friend because she said he was flirting.
Right.
Or the situation come back and be like, well, I don't mean to try to start nothing, but I think he looked at me like this or something.
Exactly.
Just that little thing. So I agree with that aspect.
So yeah, it's just about moving. But then like we were talking about earlier, the whole single mindset applies to finances and everything else. Like that's what I was telling you the other day. You don't move like you won. One means y'all actually you're supposed to move as one.
Well, okay, I get it. So what are some of the things examples that you would give that people, and I ain't talking about men or women, I mean I'm talking about both, with that they need to that people need to let go when they get in a serious relationship. What would be some of the things that you see that you have seen that people do that they need to let go when they get in a serious relationship or marriage, whatever?
Like activities or behavior?
Yeah, just in general.
I think they need to let go of saying they can do what they want. Without just anything without considering a partner.
Well, yeah, that's okay.
And then I think that, like I said, I can't define anybody's relationship for them. Like biblically, you can say there's certain things people shouldn't be doing, but again, it's all what you have, you and your partner have agreed to. I don't think people should be flirting.
Yeah.
I don't think they should be talking about some eye candy.
I don't. Yeah. Okay.
I don't think that. There's no way I should really be making, as a married person, new male friends that isn't both of our friends.
I agree with that.
So outside of, of course you're gonna have coworkers, but I shouldn't have no new male friends that I'm all of a sudden talking on the phone to, unless he didn't met both of us at the same time. We both friends with him.
I know. I agree with that 110%.
So just things like that.
Well, I would say, of course, the giving is the club scene. I've never been one to. I don't know how you could I don't know how people would take someone they meet in the club serious anyway. Uh, I mean, I get it. Everybody step out every blue moon, but I think they need to. People need to, when once you begin coming serious, give up the club scene because what are you actually going to the club for?
Oh yeah, but we talked. I told you that too. That I thought so too about that.
So, and I get it. Like sometimes you can't just go out, but a lot of times when if you need to go out that bad and you want to go out with your boys, or like I could go out with Trey and go to a club, but I don't know how long I could stay there. Not saying that he's doing anything wrong or anything like that, but at a point you could get somewhere in that situation. I could go to drink, go to the bar to buy a drink. And then next thing you know, somebody come up because I've had that happen. People come over to me, oh, you're not gonna buy me a drink or some shit like that. And again, I had it happen in a relationship and being single. So then, 9 times out of 10, I would do it now because I don't want to die, but I would buy the drink. You know what I mean? And that's why am I spending our money on another female? That's how I look at it now.
Right, exactly.
Especially, I don't know. So,
but like the club thing, like I think if you want to hang out with your friends, there's other ways to do that as opposed to going to a club. Because even when I went to the club that time with, right, I was so uncomfortable there. Because and I guess like I said, I think for women it may be different, but there's a real threat that women face, rejecting men and everything else. So like I gotta deal with that. Then I gotta deal with. Oh, I hope this dude don't come over here and try to talk.
Yeah.
To
So,
me.
but now
I hope this dude don't try to do this.
To your point of that, you're right. It is a real threat with women, but I think sometimes you don't know how different you are. And when I say that, I don't mean that in a bad way. It's women out here like you, but it's far and few and in between. A lot of women when they go to the club, and men, but a lot of women go to the club for attention, whether they're in a relationship or not. You actually, shit, one of the few women I've seen go to the club just dance, right? I'm not saying they're not out there, but a lot of women go for the attention, which also makes that danger. It makes it even more dangerous because if you're there just to dance and these women are there for the attention, like, you know what I mean? So,
but that's why I'm agreeing with you that I don't think like once you're in a relationship, you should be just frequenting the clubs like that because what are you going there for?
It's even
like because I shouldn't even be going to the club. I shouldn't be going to the club for attention. Like that shouldn't be my focus. Like I'm going to the club to get some attention. Why? I got a whole man at home. That doesn't make sense at all.
Right.
So you shouldn't be doing that.
That's the difference in going to a club and a bar now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that's what I was trying to say. Like there's other ways to hang out with your friends. Like you can go to the bar,
which is still a thing in and of itself because you get women or vice versa, whatever it is, at the bar as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that's still a situation. But yeah, because even going back to the club thing, I'm sorry, you know my mindset as far as the dancing with you type of shit. I would have, if I would have met you, I'd have never changed my viewpoint on that neither. Because even being in the club, standing beside you niggas is still disrespectful.
Right.
So that's yeah.
It's crazy.
Anyway. That's that.
All right. So then the next was talking about the male ego. You didn't even see the picture that I posted with that.
What picture?
With the
thing. Go to your page, woman.
No, it's on Unfiltered post page.
Oh.
And look, he popping it balloon, but it says literally everything, anything can pop the male's ego. And it's so funny that he said that because I just talked to you about that.
So about that. With this subject here, this is one that's kind of dear to me because I don't know if it's ego or something else. Meaning, like, so everything is. First of all, 99% of everything is our egos. However, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I don't think everything is ego, but I think 99% is ego. If that makes any sense. A lot of times is just how we feel about a certain situation, and I don't know if that's fueled by the ego or not. And I can't give you an example. We throw something out there, and when I think of ego, I think of and again, I may be boxed in with this as well on a one-way street. When I think of male ego, I think of everything that we do is to impress a woman, right? So with that, we have to make ourselves look so out of the ordinary and extraordinary, and then when y'all reject us or say no, that's the part of the ego that I, you know what I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that I function or think about male ego. The this that and all of that, that's our ego. But a lot of the other things that I've seen with egos, I don't know if that's egos or not. And I wish I wasn't so tired. I could give you an example because it was something that you had said one time before, and I was like, I don't know if that's an ego, a male ego thing.
Well, okay, so in some respects, they're talking about because everybody has egos, but they're talking about the toxicity of it, right? So when you're talking about like, especially male ego, it's talking about like the manliness, how it perpetuates domination and aggression and the cultural pressures for a man to behave in a certain way. Um, and those are things
See, and
that you
that
got,
part right there, I think that's more immaturity. But go ahead.
but
I'm
those are the
sorry.
things that men were socialized from little boys to be like that. Like that's what society is based
That's
off
why I
of.
said maturity.
Yeah, but even with maturity, and I was thinking the other day, that's probably why historically women used to be so much younger than the men that they married because it already talked about how men reaches a level of maturity at a way later age than women, right? I mean, I
Right.
read the last of their way it said it's something like the 40s. So then it would make sense for a younger woman to be with a man that's that age because at that point they're going to be like the same maturity level.
Yes.
So like I was just thinking about that the other day, but again with the male ego, it's all about um this dominance, this patriarchal society that has instilled in men that for one is instilled the
I,
the whole notion of gender roles, and there's a place for women, and if a man feels like a woman is domineering or dominating over him, even if he just feel like sometimes his ego is making him
so
perceive it that way, then that's a blow to his ego. And I told you about the study that said like they were telling men like, oh well, your wife outperformed you on this test, and like the men all automatically just self-esteem just went
so then my thing
down.
again is it ego or immaturity? Because I don't have a problem sitting here. I'm getting ready to say it on the internet. I don't have a problem sitting here saying bowing down to you from a wisdom and an intellect and an intelligent aspect. Because you're that smart, right? So I don't know if it's ego or if it's something else. Like I don't.
No, but the ego and stuff come from though because you
That doesn't make me feel upset. That's I guess that's the other problem I have because I operate with how it makes me feel, and maybe everybody is not, and I know everybody think like me because I don't have a problem with you being smarter than me. Like it is not. My ego is that doesn't. It's like it is what it is. It's proven. You literally.
yeah, but I think but it may not show in every aspect, but I think you have shown it though.
Well, you can say I'm sure. No, because
Because like
now with your
I'll sit
intelligence,
there and tell
sometimes you
you,
think you ain't you freaking wrong when
see,
you
there
won't
we
be
go.
wrong.
There we go.
So that's that.
There
Yeah.
we go.
So you right a lot of the time.
And I
But
think sometimes your male ego shows when you insist. I don't understand. You don't understand what I'm talking. I'm like,
yeah, well,
okay, yes I do.
no, I don't. Well,
Like what the heck? Like
oh
why do you
boy,
keep? How you gonna tell
we
me
can
what
go
I
this
understand?
way.
It's about as bad as you telling me you don't want me telling you how I feel, how you feel, but then you don't think nothing about telling me what I understand. And
Because
it's insulting to me, and I keep telling you that, and you just like keep
it
doing
can be,
it.
but and it's insulting to me too because we've had a discussion. I said we about to go on a whole nother
But
rant
I'm
now.
just saying.
But okay, but cool, that's cool. But my thing is, if you, it's hard for me again. Me. I'm talking about me and how I see stuff. If you haven't experienced something, how can you understand it fully?
Okay, but maybe I can though. So
How?
okay, it doesn't matter.
I can't experience.
You don't have
I
to.
can't tell you how childbirth feels.
It doesn't matter. You don't have to know the how that I understand something. If I'm telling you I understand it, then who are you to tell me that I don't understand it? In one hand, you're like, oh, you're this intelligent person, the other, but you don't understand it.
Well, it
Yeah,
depends on.
maybe I do understand it. Like my master's, first of all, my master's is in understanding people behavior, human behavior. That's what I have a whole master's degree in.
Yeah.
Like I've researched and I study and I base my stuff off of research.
So all research is not accurate neither.
I'm just saying I base off of research and studies. But I'm just saying, like, so you'll tell me like I don't understand something when I do, and I do be understanding it. Or like another way that the ego plays a role is like,
and we going off subject, y'all.
No, we're not. We're talking about other stuff. I'm constantly telling you how you are a support in me in the way that I need you to be a support to me, but you want to be a support to me in the way you want to be it.
Now that may
and that's part of ego.
That part I'm not. That part is I think is a part of ego as well, right? So I do because if because I want to do what you say I support you in, and then I want to do more on how I want to support you, or whatever, and that may be more important of the things that I'm doing now, right? But that ain't what I want to say. You made me get into that. But so I will say that's part of my ego.
Mm-hmm.
And because of certain situations I may be in right now, it allows the what you say, the patriarchy and all of that stuff, so that is part of my ego a little bit.
Right.
However, I forgot what I was going to say. You made me forget. I wanted to get into what we were talking about. About the understanding thing. Like you can't. I can understand that. Say I understand how painful childbirth is because it looks like it hurts. Your vagina opens up this wide, a big head kid come out, and all of this, right? I can say I understand that. That looks kind of painful. That might be, but can I really understand fully if I've never had to give birth to a child? And that's what I'll be trying to explain to you. You can do all the researches you want.
Nobody is going to
say. You can do all the research you want. but until you have to put them shoes on and walk through that shit, you ain't going to know it stink.
That's totally
as bad
different.
As it do.
No, that's totally different because the thing is, if somebody says, oh, well, childbirth feels like this, and a person has been through that type of pain, but okay, yeah, now I understand it. You don't have to go through the exact same thing, or I can kind of get what you're saying, or I can understand where you're coming from. You don't have to go through the exact same scenario somebody has went through to understand where they're coming from or to understand their point. And that's what you think. You think that somebody has to, okay, well, Jermaine did A, B, and C. So this person has to do A, B, and C to understand what it is that Jermaine dealt with. No. I went through A, B, and C that was very similar to what Jermaine went through. So I can tell you that I do understand it because I understand it from my perspective. I understand it from. That's what I'm saying.
What I'm saying to you is this right here. Belinda said it. Best in church. Your sister said it. Pastor said it. While she was going through and with people that lost their parents or their mother or something like that, she said she was going through that. Well, how did she say it? Going through that valley with them and this, that, and the third, and she could sympathize and empathize with them, but she could sympathize with them, fully grasp it until mom left.
Right.
She said, now, when I say I'm walking through that valley with you, I fully understand and I fully grasp it because you guys have lost your mother. So it's the difference between, somebody lose their mother and they be like, oh man, that has to hurt. I can only imagine how it'll feel. Then when you're in it yourself. Then now you understand that pain and that struggle even more.
I get that, Jermaine, but I'm saying, okay, but from the way you're explaining it, I don't understand the pain you feel from losing your mother because your mom wasn't my mom. And that's how you make it sound. I'm telling you that, or if you're explaining a subject, to say, oh, okay, yeah, I understand that. I understand it, but I don't agree with it. And you still come at me like, how you don't understand? Yes, I do. You just explained it to me. Like I'm not dumb.
I disagree with that.
That's what you do.
I disagree with
you
that.
You do that.
No, that ain't how the conversation.
Yes, it does.
I would say a
most of them like that.
We're gonna use the GPS stuff, right? This is the GPS stuff when we be going to Iowa and stuff, right? And I'll be like, I don't want to go that way because of this, that, and the third. I've been doing this 20 plus years, right?
Okay.
And then you want to tell me, but the GPS is going to tell you this, that, and the third. And the GPS ain't going to tell me what I already know that's better. Especially for like driving the RV or the mountains.
What do I say to you about the GPS? The GPS tells you when there's an accident. The GPS tells you when there's construction. You don't know that in your head.
We came back home.
But
what are you talking about?
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. Because I told you about going through West Virginia. I don't want to go through West Virginia. I can go this way right here and be better.
It's not going to account for. The GPS is not going to account for.
See, that's what I'm talking about right
No,
here.
you said it's not going to count for the fact that we're pulling a trailer.
Yeah, it's not.
Okay, and I said
in mountains and hills.
And what part? I never said it.
But you told, yes, you did. But because you told me, well, we gonna go this way because North Cicerona is not gonna be quicker.
Babe, I said I didn't tell you I didn't understand that. What did I say? That's not what I said.
Anyway, back to
I said I prefer to go that way though. I get what you're saying, but I prefer to go that way. You think that just because if you think understanding means agreement, and that's not the same thing.
I don't think
I can understand you all day, and I'm still not agreeing with you.
You know what? As an attorney, right? If I come and I can understand what you're saying as my attorney, right? And I don't have to agree with it, right? I can understand it, but can I fully understand the law if I ain't had to study it and do it in whatever the case may be? No, I can understand what you're saying, but I can't. It is going to be hard to be 100% understanding or whatever. And it could be something you're passionate
but if
about.
if they go and read about the law and they learn about it, and then they come back and say, I understand, who am I to tell them you don't understand? Because you're not an attorney.
Because they ain't gonna have the understanding you have.
They still don't mean they don't understand the law, babe.
But then
they don't have to have the same level of understanding to understand something. If everybody knows 2 + 2 is 4, then they understand that 2 + 2 is 4. Now maybe they don't know why the 2 and the 2 is going to equal 4. Maybe they just learned that, but they still understand that 2 + 2 is 4.
And 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 is 4, right? But if I'm telling you 2 + 2 is quicker to get to 4, it's a lot easier to do the math.
Babe, that's no. Yeah, that don't make sense.
That's not the point.
But you'll sit there and you'll try to say something like, well, "I went through the circumstance and blah blah blah," and I'll say like, "Okay, no, you don't know what it means to not be able to do this," and I'm like, "Yes, I do, because I was in that same predicament this many years ago." But I don't understand it because I didn't go through the exact same predicament you going through. But it's very similar. And so I'm telling you, like, yeah, I can understand that because I went through this point where I couldn't do this with my kids. I couldn't do that. And then, but I don't understand. How does it I don't understand? Like, matter of fact, I went through worse.
Okay, so if you're used
my situation was worse.
If you're used to, I don't even know how to say it. If you're used to one particular, anyway, whatever.
But I'm just saying, so you negate my experiences when you say that, though.
I don't negate your experiences, but sometimes
when you're telling somebody that they don't understand it, if part of being married also means trusting your partner. If your partner says they understand something, it's not up to you to say no, you don't. Just like you don't like for me to say, no, you got attitude when you say you don't.
Yeah, I hate that.
Okay, so then I hate you saying that I don't understand something. If I'm telling you I understand it, I'm not going to lie to you and say I'm understanding something. If I say I understand it, I understand it. I may not agree with it. You can tell me all day where everybody don't think it. Okay, I get that, but I still don't think it's right. Period. I don't care why the man did this and that. I just don't think it's right. I understand what you're saying.
Can you? Because it's not right. Okay, yeah.
I understand why you said he cheated.
Wow.
I understand why you said he wasn't happy and he didn't leave his man. I get what you're saying.
But
I still don't agree with it.
No, you know what? That's a good one. That's a good one that you just brought up. So when I tell you, you know, me knowing somebody that's sleeping in separate rooms or unhappy in their marriage, and I'm glad you brought that up and they don't want to leave because they don't want to start over. They want to lose everything or whatever the case may be. Your response to me is no, which I agree with. It's no excuse for cheating. Just leave. Everybody don't have that. I'm just gonna leave power for whatever the reason is. So when I say you don't understand something, I'm saying you don't understand the struggle of it to want to leave and can't because you feel trapped or you can't go nowhere, or you're gonna lose everything and
he
everything
says that
else.
to the woman who was trauma bonded, who felt like she couldn't leave a relationship. So I keep telling you, I understand these things. It may be from a different perspective, but I understand feeling trapped in a relationship. All I'm saying, and
that is totally different.
Oh, okay, but
you had nothing to lose after that.
I understand about the man who has all these reasons for not leaving. I understand that. I understand his situation. I'm still not going to agree with it. I understand he may say his thing. It may be a real threat to him if he leave. Somebody gonna take half of his stuff. I get that. I understand it, but I still don't believe the solution is to cheat.
Well, and
like my comeback for that is okay. Then you just stay in there and you just be miserable. Because there's no, so that's my whole thing. So like I understand it, I just don't agree with it.
I just caught some. For is like, yeah, I see why he do it. And then to the point, but yeah, it's still wrong, right? Which is fine, but you just act like it's wrong, and it.
Yeah.
While it is no justification, it's still justification.
I get that, but I be telling you that I understand. So maybe I should need to word it differently. I am very adamant about that
because the wrongness of it.
And versus, I still am. So again, I still understand all his rationales, all the person's rationale they may have. I still understand all the justifications they have, and I still disagree with it. That's the only thing I'm telling you. I understand it. I get it. You be wanting me to say, oh yeah, so I can see. I don't know what you want me to say because I'm telling you, that's my positioning. Like I understand you can give me every justification in the world. And I would say, yep, I can see where that's a threat. I can see where somebody would feel that kind of way. I can see that.
All right, but okay, I'm gonna use this one. I'm gonna use this one. I just thought of this is personal again. I'm gonna use this one. My upbringing versus your upbringing. Can we agree that they're totally different?
Yeah.
1,000,000 miles apart.
I'll tell
right?
you that.
So while you may have done things and seen things, the things that you've seen, I'll say this, what I know, the things that you've done is nowhere close to anything that I've done. Right? So when I'm telling you I was in the trenches doing all of this crazy stuff, which led me to a mindset that I have now, you come back and tell me about how, and this is where I don't understand with you. You come back and tell me how, at a certain time a person has to change. But if a person's have been raised in this their whole life, certain things that I see that may be right or I feel is right because of what I've grown up in, you're not going to see that. And there's no way, I don't believe you can understand that because you didn't have to.
Okay, but me saying a person has at some point has a change don't mean I don't understand. Doesn't mean
but you don't understand the feeling of how it feels is what I'm saying.
I get that, Jermaine, but that doesn't mean that I can't still say that a person has to change because at some point they do.
Yeah, but you sometimes those people that we're talking about, I was capable of trying to change my mindset because, like I explained to you before, I was teetering. But certain people that's have been grabbed by that lifestyle. They don't know how to change because everything that they've been wired to see is their belief to be right. And like you're gonna say, it's the internet out here, this, that, and the third. If it's hard for me to look at these certain things and still believe it or believe it, and I'm one of the ones that actually got a little bit more sense. Like for instance, my cousin wouldn't believe nothing she see on the internet talking about this is how a woman should be, or you could get successful for this. All she can smoke weed and deal with drug dealers and talking about getting a coochie beat up. And that's because that's what she was raised in. So at what point, if you're raised in that and you stay in it, it's because you're trapped. That's why they call it a trap, the trap. So then you couldn't understand. It's hard for somebody that didn't have to live like that to understand that struggle to come out of that.
But Jermaine, so that's not talking about understanding, because what you're saying is that, okay, I'm saying that I understand what you're saying about the struggle, and I understand what you're saying about how they may feel trapped. But what you're confusing understanding with is me saying, I get all that, but I still disagree. I'm not of the mindset where I think that people that are raised in that, like, so I'll put it plain, people that are raised like that, regardless of them having blocked opportunities, regardless of their mind, and I know more than anything about how people's minds raised a certain way that life. I again studied that in school. I've told you that. I taught that in training. People see things through their own experiences. I get that. I get that's how people mental landscape is formed and how hard it is to change a person's mental landscape, because I deal with that from a whole totally different perspective, train my mental landscape with regards to certain things. So I understand that. Where the divergence come in is me saying, but I don't believe people are incapable of changing. That's all I'm saying. It's like, yeah, I understand. I don't think they're incapable. I think there's a lot. I think there's enough resources out there today for people to realize, and hey, this is something ain't quite right here, or somebody in the cross a path that let them know what you're doing ain't quite right here, for them to then make that decision of whether or not they want to try to change something. And I think you can argue me all day. I think everyone is capable of that.
Oh, I mean,
I think even the worst, Jeffrey Dahmer was capable. He's a serial killer.
Everybody is capable, right?
Okay, that's my point.
Saying. But it's everybody's capable.
I'm not arguing the difficulty of it. I'm not arguing how hard it is. I'm not arguing that they may not even be able to.
Okay,
so I'm not arguing.
Okay, so then here's the issue. Then with me, when it comes to me saying that to you, right? Here's the issue. You make it seem by speaking like that is just a walk in the fucking park to change.
And I don't know
because that's how you speak. Every time I say that.
But Jermaine, I don't care how I speak. You keep telling me that I'm telling you that I don't understand something. I'm saying stop doing. I do understand. Just because I don't speak it in the way you want me to speak it, or I don't see it exactly in the way you want me to see it.
Try to make it seem like it's easy to do.
I don't care. I can say that it's easy. That I can say I believe it's easy to do. Don't mean I don't understand. Yeah, I can understand all that and say, yep, but in spite of that, it's easy to do.
Huh?
I understand all of that, but in spite of that, I believe it's easy to do. I can say that. Don't mean I don't understand. Yeah. But I don't say that. I've never said it was easy to do. I've always been an advocate of people see things through the lens in which they were raised. I've said that to you several times. I say that all the time, regardless of background. I say a person experiences how they view life, how they continue to move on through life. All of that is through the lens in which they were raised, through their own perspectives.
Yeah.
But it's still, at some point, people should have to change. At some point, I believe there's enough resources out there and there's enough awareness out there, and because we have the internet and because we have access to so many things, that people are very much capable of changing their mindset. But they got to take the first steps to do it, but they're capable of doing it.
So how do you take the first steps of doing it if you don't have that around you to see the positive?
But so again, you don't understand what I'm saying.
I'm saying they do. You're talking about the resources, because
I'm saying they do have positive around them. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm arguing that they do have positivity. And again, it ain't got nothing to do with me not understanding. That's my positioning on it. So understanding positionings, I'm saying that in spite of all that, there's resources available. There's positivity out there. They've seen Barack Obama be president. They've seen the damn Cosby Show. They've seen. Let me finish. They've seen enough stuff. They've seen enough Black people in career type positions.
No, stop. Well, say the Cosby Show. You know what I mean? People looked at that and say that's so far-fetched, a doctor and a lawyer being. So when you want to say that, it's so many people that's
I'm using that example. People have seen that come into realization. They've seen Black doctors. Especially, people in the South ain't got no excuse, because this is the first time I can now. If they was in Iowa, I would understand. But this is the first time I came somewhere and I didn't seen Black doctors, Black dentists, Black everything, Black. Everybody here that's in major positions are Black, so they have no excuse.
All I'm saying,
if they go to the grocery store next to the manager, is a Black person.
All I'm saying,
if they go to the dentist, it's a Black person.
All I'm saying to you is the people we gotta get on the let's say you respond. All I'm saying to you is people that has, I don't know how the hell we even went this far here.
Because you
people
keep saying I don't
grown-
understand,
grown
and it's not
people
it's
that
not
grown
has nothing to do with
people that has
understanding.
grown up and was raised in the hood and
You
stuff
gonna try
like
to make
that.
me agree with him.
No, I'm not. I'm just
You gonna
telling
make
you
me agree
that.
with him.
I'm just sitting there
I don't
telling
agree
you
with you.
you can sit.
I
You
don't
can
agree
see,
with you.
you can see that all you want to is what I'm saying, but their mind don't think on that level.
Okay, first of all, you're not everybody in the ghetto, so you don't
I
know.
think I lived in the ghetto. I'm not everybody.
You're Jermaine.
And I lived
You
in a
don't
whole
know,
lot of
okay,
ghettos.
I don't care. You don't know what everybody in that ghetto mindset is, and what everybody in the ghetto mindset.
I know what every ghetto I done been in their mindset of.
You don't know what everybody is capable of doing with their own mindset. So stop. You're speaking for everybody. You're generalizing.
I'm speaking for
you're saying these people don't know how to do this. These people don't know. You don't know that. There could be somebody it could be several people, a multitude of people that are raised in the ghetto that know damn well better, and they just say, "Yeah, I don't want to do that."
That's true. That's
so stop
true.
saying what they can. What I'm saying is that people are capable of change.
People are capable of changing, but the vast anyway. All right.
You don't know because you ain't met the vast majority.
I know we got.
Until Jermaine can tell me. Because people are choosing.
So the vast majority of people.
It has nothing to do with them not being capable of change. It's because they're choosing it. I'm saying they're intentionally choosing it.
That's definitely not it.
Some people are intentionally choosing that. Some people are intentionally choosing what they're doing.
So was that little boy intentionally choosing throw up gang signs?
I said some people are intentionally choosing. I didn't say everybody. I said some people are intentionally choosing it. It could be very well that a little boy right now is throwing up a gang sign, but as he get older, he went across a teacher, and the teacher tells him blah 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 blah, and that person, or he gets a big brother or big sister. Now, whether or not he chooses to continue to do that is his choice. You can't say he didn't have a resource available to him.
Well, I'll give you.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll give you the prime example. My son's brother, what he grew up in, he chose to do better and go to the military, right? To do something better with his life. His older brother decides he wants to run out here and get in shootouts and be shot at and all of this stuff. My son's other brother, he was raised by his father, wasn't in that environment. The kids that was raised with his my son's biological mother, the two that was raised ended up being like.
Yeah, but the one that was went to the military, right? When he raised with her.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get to. So that you can choose that, and for whatever reason, I don't know who came across him to do that. Yeah, you have those people.
So you proved my point.
That's what I'm saying. You have those people.
So then the brother also had his brother. The two that's raised together. One went on to the military. The other one decided he wanted to get shot at. But the one that decided to get shot at, he still had his brother. That's a positive influence. To go out in the streets. That's what I'm saying. I don't even know if we finished that whole discussion about the male ego, because y'all. But what I'm saying is, I wish you respect me enough to quit telling me that, because I don't like it. I'm voicing to you that I don't like it, and you said you don't like me telling you how I feel, so I've cut back on that a lot. I think I've done a good job of not doing that. I try to catch myself when I do that because of how you say it makes you feel.
Okay, so let me ask you. I got one more question. Remember when Donald Trump ran for president and he said he started off with a little $1 million loan from his father.
Mm-hmm.
So can Donald Trump understand what it feels like to grow up in the hood? Will he have any connection to
you? I don't understand how you even.
I'm just saying, because
how you tie not if somebody came to Donald Trump and said, Donald Trump, this is what, man, you don't understand the hood, because this is what happens in the hood. This is what the hood, you got to go through this. The hood, so you for you to say that is different and blah blah blah. And so if Donald Trump come back and say, okay, yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
what you're saying,
but
you know,
okay,
I still think that you there's opportunities for y'all out there. That's so he can understand and still disagree. He can understand and still come to a different.
If someone says that I understand it's opportunities that a lot of people don't get a chance to get because of where they're at. He didn't have that struggle though.
And he can still say, I understand that,
Okay.
but I still believe there's enough opportunities out there. Now, whether or not he's wrong, it's totally different. But don't mean he don't understand. Okay, so the supervisors come down there in the trenches and say, okay, well, I worked the job exactly like y'all did, and I still think that but the way I'm telling y'all do is better. So now he do understand the job. He understands how it worked. He understands what they went through on the day, but he's still saying, but I still think this is the best way to do it. No, it's not. It's the same thing.
All right. That's like these lawmakers passing all these laws about truck drivers. And they never drove a truck. Probably don't even know nobody drive a truck. But because what they think is better.
Yeah, but are they saying they understand? They may not be saying that. Or maybe somebody then came in there and they think they have a thorough understanding because the person that gave them a big wide background trucking this is what's happening in the trucking industry where they falling asleep and this is going to stop that from falling asleep. So I say, okay, yeah, we get it.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, we just went about 20, 30 minutes for nothing.
No, we didn't. Because I still can't get you to agree to that.
Agree to what?
To quit saying I don't understand something because I'm saying it's offensive to me. You keep deflecting.
Oh, well, I'll stop saying it. But because I stopped saying it, don't mean that I agree with you.
I don't care. I just say stop saying it to me because I don't like it.
All right, let's get into the last one.
No, the last one what? Can a woman leave? And I'm hungry.
Yeah, me too. I'm hungry as hell. So you want to leave to the kitchen?
We're gonna talk about that next week because
talk about it now. You want to?
Okay, we can. No. But can a woman leave? I don't think we're gonna be able to get a full discussion. We have to go into next week though. Can a woman leave in a relationship? What is your thinking? What do you think? What do you think?
I going back to the male ego part. I think if a man put his ego aside, yes, because at the end of the day, I'll just be honest. I think you lead this family, and I'm okay with that. And now, I don't think a lot of men would be okay with that. When I ain't talking about you, I'm just talking about in general. I don't think a lot of men would be okay allowing their woman to lead because in certain aspects, finances, certain things that that I haven't had to do in life that you had to do, that you have done and do well in life, I have to bow down to that because I can't lead or do something if you the way you've done it has been better than what I've done. I have to take the back seat to that. And that takes a lot of ego pushing to the side and stuff like that because a lot of men just not going to do that. I believe, in my personal opinion, because how I used to be, I don't know if I could. It always was my way. This way, I do it. My way is the best way because if something happened, I gotta fix it, right? So, and my way may not have always been the best way. A lot of things that you do is the best way, whether I understand them or not. I agree with it or not. I understand it because you have shown yourself to be able to be better in certain areas than me, in a lot of areas than me. So then I can take the back seat and allow you to drive the car and take the passenger seat and allow you to drive, right? Because it's just if it's going to work out for the best, then I can put that aside. I got to put my ego aside on that.
Well, so this all goes back again, like to, I don't know, like I think that, I think that that's a mixed bag of stuff because, like even what you saying, like you allow me to lead, like when it comes to finances and stuff. I don't know how much that would be applied in practice because you said stuff to me like, well, I can't tell you what to do with your money, right? So if you're still coming from that mindset of thinking that giving advice on money that's income for the household is you telling me what to do with my money, then I just find it hard for us, you know what I'm saying, for you to be okay with any leading on that. Um,
What?
and I think that's the thing with a lot of men, and that's the thing with a lot of women. I also feel like when they talked about leading, like even in again, even in the Bible, men, well-known men in the Bible, they were taking advice from their wives, right? Because yeah, they were the house of the head hold, but a lot of times the Pontius Pilate wife was giving him advice about this and that, you know. So there was always a woman that was at play giving some type of advice, right? Or providing leadership in a way that where it was kind of under, you know how they say the first ladies are the one that's really running the presidency. So it's almost like that type of scenario. But I think that it's hard to go back, and a lot of people say, well, you know, a man's supposed to lead, man's supposed to lead. But I think what they're failing to realize is that because of the how times have changed, and because of like a lot of things have been perverted, it's really hard to sustain that. They're forgetting that again, there's a maturity level difference in men biologically, and God designed it that way for a reason. I don't know. So again, even when you're talking about Bible stuff, you're talking about men who are way older than their wives. So at that point, they had a maturity level that was level with their wives, or it may have grown more than their wives because they were older men, right? So then at that point, they were able to take leadership. But now you got people in today's society, women dating younger men, women dating men at their same age, and they're not at the same level maturity wise, because some women are you're in a marriage or relationship with a man who hasn't reached a mature level yet. So then it is hard for them to lead, not because they're intentionally doing things crazy, but a lack of knowledge, a lack of maturity, and everything else. So you have an immature man that says, no, you know, when we have money, anytime I get something, and matter of fact, I'll say like she knows people that's like that. I think she might say my dad at one point was like this, but it's like any extra money I have is for me to spend, right? You may have a immature man thinking that. Oh, well, as long as I've already put away something for savings, as long as I already paid off bills, anything extra I got, even though I didn't already gave myself my own allowance budget that I'm gonna spend every month, anything extra I got, instead of using it to get further ahead, that means I can just go out and blow it. Whereas one might be saying, no, let's that if anything extra, let's use it for our advantage. Let's not use it to go buy another car when we don't need it. So that type of thing. And it's those type of maturity levels, the difference, I don't think people are recognizing that there's a difference in maturity levels. So it's very hard now to have men leading these households when you have the age gap is so much closer. That's what I'm trying to say. The age gap in which people are marrying each other is so much closer than what it was in the past. I think
you said it's hard for a man to lead a household.
I think that's why I think it's harder for some men to lead a household depending on the maturity level. And I think that's why it's so hard for women to be okay with that, because to be real, there are that's what I'm saying, there are some decisions being made that is just like that's not very rational, and it's all due to immaturity more so than anything. So my thing is like nowadays I think we should be focused on co-leading. Like partners should be co-leading the household.
Now that's a good point.
Because
that's a real good point.
If you're co-leading and both people are putting their ego aside, you're actually being interdependent and you're functioning more as a unit at that point.
Now that's a good point.
And so that's what I think the focus should be on, co-leading, where you, again, you're making decisions together as a unit.
Well, that's a good point. That you draw you
and so
nailed it home.
So that's why I think the focus should be, as opposed to older men. And like I'm trying to say, I'm just saying, like, I think a lot of that capability to lead has to do with maturity level too, because you're not going to put a 10th grader in charge of a business.
So do you think the phrase leading is is not understood, like understood completely. Like, you know how they say a man's supposed to be a provider, and when that term is used or is used, people automatically go straight to money. So you think the word leading or the phrase leading is used like,
Misleading.
yeah, it's misleading, yeah, like that.
I think it is because again, so it and that's exactly what I was just saying when I say the area I need you to support me, and you feel like you need to support other because that's been instilled in so many men. But I'm trying
But
to
that
tell
wasn't
you,
instilled. But so you,
no. But I'm saying
for
just
me, that
like,
wasn't instilled in me.
but no, it's instilled sociologically though. It's instilled in different things we're seeing though that's happening in our environment. So it ain't necessarily like your parents had to tell you this is what you need to do. It's just that's just a part of growing up. Like you learn that in school when you don't even know you're learning that.
I didn't say it. That's what I'm saying. That's not instilled in me. Uh,
What's not instilled in you?
as far as what we was talking about, what you're talking about, those type of values wasn't instilled, and I don't think I've learned that a man is supposed to do that, because I've always said from day one, I don't never want to take care of
No,
you.
no, I'm saying just what you were just saying to me in
I'm
the
sorry.
car when I was saying, no, this is how I need you to support me. That's just as important.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm telling you this, and you're saying no. I need to support you in this way. I'm saying no, but
No, I didn't say no. I need you to
no,
support
I
you.
know, but you were feeling like the that you needed to give additional support, and I'm telling you no. This what I'm trying to tell you. I was telling you in that respect that being a provider and being a support is more than what is more than just financial stuff. It's more than just bills. It's more
Oh
than
well,
just
no, yeah, I hear that.
all that. So I agree with you on that aspect.
But
Like,
so
but it's so hammered into men head that provider. Oh, then all they start thinking about with leading and providing is like, oh, well, as long as I'm paying bills, I'm
well,
supposed to be paying bills in the house, and that's that. And then some so twisted is like that's all they supposed to do.
well, so that's why I'll take me out of that equation, that though, because I from day one I've told you when we started dating, as far as the financial aspect, never, I didn't want no more women that I had to take care of and all of this stuff like that, right? So it's just from from I don't want to say, if I'm gonna say a man, from a man's perspective, you should never want to hear your woman uh talk about, oh, I can't do this. Not saying you doing this, not saying she's doing this, but I'm saying in general, you don't ever want to talk about hear your woman saying I can't do this or I can't do that, and then you can't give it to her. That still makes, that should make, even vice versa. If you can't give me something, and you know that I need help in that aspect, or want help in that aspect, or whatever you want to say, right? It should, I would think it should make you feel away to see somebody.
If you're saying you need something,
Yeah, or to see, or to, if I can't, if I'm, I won't say struggling, if I'm in an area, and you know that, I can't do this because of this, or I can't do that because of this, and there's nothing that you could do to take that away, that should make you feel away.
yeah, if there's nothing I can do. But again, just like I'm saying, just like our conversation in the car, so you have some underpinnings of that too. Because even in the conversation in the car, I'm like, you shouldn't be feeling that because this is where I need you right now. Like this may just be, but I so what I'm saying is that I'm trying to tell you how what the type of support that you're giving me right now is what is more essential and valuable to me right now. And I get where you're coming from, but you're focused on something different. I'm like, for all you know, maybe it's like that because God knows that that's what I need right now.
Right, but it still doesn't sit well, knowing that if uh something else has to be taken care of, and I can't take care of it, or if you got this extra, if you're worried about the deck about to fall, right, and I'm not capable of, I don't want that to be your worry. I want to be able to fix that, if that makes any sense.
But that don't be. Yeah, you know the deck is about to fall, and you saying you can't fix it, and I'm like, but don't worry about that because what I need from you is you to save my hammock because I don't want my hammock to fall. But you like, yeah, but I don't want to take the phone. I can't fix. I ain't care about no damn deck. I just want my hammock. That's what I want you to do. So that's what I'm saying. But so then, if again,
did this sound okay?
Your work. If a person is saying this is what they need as far as their support, but you're wanting to, and you acknowledge that, but you're also saying, yeah, but I also need to give you this, and he's like, no, you don't need to give me that right now. I'm okay with that. This is what I need for you to focus on. That's what I'm saying. And that's when you have to put what you want to do, what you want to provide, how you want your provision to look aside. So even for men, when you're talking about co-leading and they're talking about, well, I'm supposed to be the one buying the groceries, no, it's about what your spouse, what the both of y'all need as a unit. If your spouse is like, I got this, then who are you to say, yeah, but I should be doing it? If they're saying, no, I'm good with that because I need you in this other area. You're better at this. That's where I need you.
I guess
then that's when you put yourself aside and say, you know what, I need to work for the betterment of this team. And if the betterment of this team means I need to do this, then that's what I need to do. All kind of like the situation I had with the kid's dad. It's like, why he doing stay-at-home stuff? Because my degree is in law. His is in art. He can do his art stuff at home. I can bring in more money doing law. So tell me what does it make sense me saying, no, he needs to go out and provide? That makes no sense at all. So now we both out the house and we paying tax. Why?
But what I'm saying to you is it's still a thing about making somebody's life easier, right? And yeah, going back to what you said, in that certain aspect, you need whatever you need, right? And if somebody's giving you whatever you need in that aspect, like you said earlier about, whatever, I'll make your life easier because of whatever, right? Mm-hmm. But if on the other part, if I don't want you, nobody ever wants their part. If you hurt, I'm hurting in any aspect. If you're bothered, I should be bothered, or I should feel bothered in any aspect of anything, right? So yeah, it may not be bothering you like that, but it bothers me to see, or you to say, hey, I can't do this right now, I can't do that right now. You know what I'm saying? Like that part just is what bothers me. Like, oh no, I don't ever want her to feel like that.
Okay, but I understand. But I'm saying, but you're supposed to be working for the betterment. Both people are supposed to be working for the betterment of the union, right?
So making somebody's life easy is for the betterment.
Okay, but if I'm saying you're making my life easier by doing this, and you saying, but I want to make your life easier by doing this. So actually what you're doing is putting more stress on it, because where I wasn't bothered by something, now I'm bothered because I know that it's bothering you. Where first I wouldn't even be bothered by that because I'm good. But now you done made me, I got the additional burden of being worried about how you feeling about a certain predicament where I'm good about it.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
How don't you not understand it?
I don't understand that part. Like,
okay, so say I'm saying I'm bothered. I need you to clean the kitchen, and you saying, well, the garage needs to be done. I'm like, okay, I
got a better example.
What?
Okay. All right. So you saying you need me to clean the kitchen, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. I'll go clean the kitchen. But then you say, damn, man, I really want to go to Puerto Rico, but I can't afford to go to Puerto Rico right now. That may be the least of your worries going to Puerto Rico. You just want to go, right? But because I clean the kitchen, that's what you needed me to do, and clean the kitchen, garage, and whatever else, wash the cars, fucking cook, whatever, right? That's the aspect that you need me in your life to do constantly, because you're going to get to Puerto Rico, right? But what bothers me is like, okay, I didn't clean the kitchen, and you just said you want to go to Puerto Rico. I want to be able to be like, you want to go to Puerto Rico? All right, nigga, let's go next week. We out of here. Because I heard my wife say she want to go to Puerto Rico. So for you to say that is similar to what you said about you're adding the double stress because now you're worried because I'm worried or whatever. So it's like, okay, You just told me you want to go to Puerto Rico, and I can't get you to Puerto Rico.
But that's
going to bother me.
But that's different.
And that ain't no ego.
No, but
that's wanting to give your spouse
I understand
the best
that, but
ever.
if a person is, but if they're not expecting that, right? So my thing, this is the point I'm trying to make. I'm saying, like, yes, if you want, if your thing is like, okay, that's what I want to do for my spouse, that's one thing. But then when it bothers you to the level that now your spouse feeling some kind of way that she even mentioned it. But damn, I shouldn't even mention it because now he bothered by it. It wasn't even all that serious. I just said it in passing. But now he all bothered. So now I'm stressed out because you bothered that you can't do it.
So what to me what it sounds like, or how I know you're gonna say I'm taking it wrong. What it sounds like is that somebody is wrong for wanting to give their spouse everything.
That ain't what I said. I said no.
But that's what it sounds like.
I'm not saying. I'm saying when they internalize, it's the point where what I'm saying is that if you're working as a unit, you work for the betterment of the whole unit as a whole. And if the unit is functioning, it may be functioning, but maybe not functioning in the way that you want it to function right at that moment, and that's fine. So you figure out ways to make it function better, but you shouldn't let that consume you to the point where now it's got your partner stressed out, where your partner wouldn't have been stressed out. So you it's okay to say, well, I want to be able to give all this to my. It's okay for me to. I want to give Jermaine all this because I deserve it. But if I could, I'm just.
I am too.
But I'm just saying that's what happens. So that's the dysfunction in it. Self aside, because all that is self. Your partner never said they expected you to do any of that. You choose to want to do that, and that's fine. I guess but if you're choosing to want to do it, you can't choose it to the point where it's impacting you mentally, and thus in turn impacting your partner. Because again, you're all unit. Anything that bothers you is gonna bother your partner. Just because your partner mentions something, don't mean it's bothering them until you make it an issue.
Well, because again, it's like, and I guess I could say this and we go because I'm getting hungry. And I put Bailey to bed. But it's just the fact of the matter is sort of like, now I'm talking about me now. Like with my kids, I don't ever want to be able to tell my kids. I don't mind saying no, but I want it to be a no because, you don't need everything, right? I don't want it to be a no because I can't. And that's what I'm saying the difference is. So for me to say, okay, all right, we'll go to Puerto Rico, we'll go next week, and you'd be like, yeah, maybe not right now because we got other things, yada, 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 right? Then it'll be like, all right, well, whenever you're ready to go, let's go. I'm still capable of doing it. Versus, oh, to Puerto Rico, well, damn, I ain't got the money to do it. Well, you need a passport, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how we're gonna get there. So it's like,
but I still say that's still a you thing, because even if you tell,
I said,
yeah, I know, but I'm saying, so even if you tell your kid, and in some ways it's selfish, right? Because your kids don't know why you tell them no. But if you tell them no, then all of a sudden you all down. You can't even interact with them because you so sad that you couldn't do this. Now you impacted them in a way that they wasn't even going to be impacted at first. They don't know why you said no, you couldn't do it. But now you internalized it and made it something more than what it should be. And now you're impacting everybody. That's my point. My point is, like, it's okay to want that, but not to the point where it's like now you become so it's a almost like a pleasing you thing. When it gets to that point, it's all about how it's gonna make you feel. You don't even care about how it's making your kids feel.
It does make individual feel better when they're able to, whether it's kids, spouse, or whatever, or at least it does me, when you're able to do something that is not a necessity, but that they want, and you're capable of giving it to them, and to see the smile and the happiness and joy in them, it does do something for me.
Right, but my point again is, if it's that consuming to the point where it's hurting somebody else, then it becomes selfish. It's no longer now you made it all about you when it shouldn't be. Because part of the joy should be like, okay, yeah, I was able to provide this for them because they really wanted it, and now everybody thought. But it shouldn't be like when you do it to that level. Now there's no joy in it because now it's just like, okay, well, dang, now he has to struggle to get it. I don't even want it now.
So what happens when you can't do nothing for the person? Then what happens then? If you can't give the person nothing,
why can't you give them nothing? Because what does that have to be material? Because you can give a person a lot that's not material. That's way more valuable than that. So it's how do you define a nothing? Which may be totally different than how your partner's defining nothing.
All right, I'm going to sleep.
I'm just saying. What's nothing?
That was an hour and 20 minutes. Well, since we missed some time, I guess that's good. Give my kiss.
Anyway, see y'all next week.
Yeah, you coming up with the ones next week.
I came up with ones this week.
They ain't gonna lie.
I came up. Anyway,
how you come up with you?
We haven't eaten, and you know what? I'm already a little teed off today, so I ain't even. Let me just shut up, okay? Because him and his little issues. All right, bye. We gone.
Peace.